Yo, shout out YouTube, what it do? This is your brother Jay International, tapping back in once again with another video. So, if you are a subscriber to my channel and you have been paying attention to my journey in particular, I've started off this trap channel first in the travel sphere. But as life events happen and I was not given or awarded the luxuries to travel as I once traveled, then I started to really touch upon various topics, subject matters. And even when I was traveling, I did the same thing. But following my journey, and it's been a very interesting journey in a relatively short amount of time. But starting off this channel traveling and then transitioning to not traveling into family life. I'm from Oakland, California, born and raised, home of what once was the Raiders. They're now in Las Vegas. Home of the A's, but they're also now going to Las Vegas. And the stadium and home of the Golden State Warriors that was shared with San Francisco, but now they're in San Francisco. So, being from the Bay Area, it's a different environment from being in Southern California. But now that I am in Southern California and have been in Southern California for the past year, I'm going to give you my thoughts on life in LA County, and the difference and what I've come to understand about living here. Now, to start with, the landscape of Southern California is a whole lot different than the landscape of the Bay Area. The landscape of Southern California, a lot of it is flat. You have a lot more flat. And I'm not saying you don't have hills, because you got the Hollywood Hills. You have hills in inland, and you have hills, but in the Bay Area, it's a lot more hilly. So it's more flat, it's big, and it's spread out. It's very spread out. That's why here in Southern California, it's very important for me to have a car, even though they have public transportation, but oftentimes to get from one point to the other it can take over an hour. And the traffic is crazy. And it's millions of people that live here, So that is a part of the landscape here in Southern California, LA County to be exact. What else? They have beaches. Beaches are here. They have some green areas, but it's a lot more dry than Northern California. Well, let's talk about the weather. Weather can be crazy, right? We all heard the song. We pretty much should have all heard the song. It never rains in Southern California. And to a certain extent that is true, but it does rain. It does rain. It gets cloudy. It gets drizzly. It does rain. But the weather, and for my year of being here, I don't know, maybe it's because of global warming or whatever's going on in the atmosphere, but it's like, it'll be, right now it's June, right? Beginning of June, which is the, summer months. But in the morning, it'll be real cloudy and gray and foggy, and it doesn't look like it's going to turn any better. But then, as time progresses on, then it starts to clear up a little bit. And the sun starts to come up, and it gets hot. So maybe that's just an LA thing. I don't know, but that's kind of strange because I feel like I've traveled all over the world. Like when it's going to be a sunny day, it shows that in the beginning of the day once the sun rises. But here, it's like it can be it can look real cloudy and gloomy. But all of a sudden by midday, the sun is out. So that's an interesting thing right there. And well, let's talk about the demographics. The demographics is over 50% uh, Hispanic, Latino, and as far as the Latino groups, the Hispanic groups, the dominant is, from what I see, Mexicans, and then you got Peruvians, the El Salvadorians, um, Guatemala. So that's pretty much the groups that's here. You don't have many Afro Latinos here. Very small because when they hear a black person speaking Spanish, they automatically assume that this is a black American that's learned Spanish. And went ahead and took some classes and tutored. They don't never think, never comes into their mind because they don't travel. That's the thing, they don't travel. A lot of them haven't even left California, and even coming from Mexico, because the countries they're coming from, um, they don't even know that there's black people in Mexico. That's just black population in Mexico. They don't travel in Mexico, or even in Guatemala. Like they don't, Peru. They should know that, but a lot of them they be surprised and shocked to hear a black person speaking Spanish because there aren't many Afro Latinos here in California, period. Like there is in the East Coast. You go to the East Coast, there ain't no shock. Like New York, Boston, ain't no shock. You know what I'm saying? Here, it's a shock. But if you're looking for diversity, you won't get it here. I'm gonna give you all the real, give you all the raw. If you're looking for diversity, a place that has diversity, it doesn't offer it here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one dominant group and everything pretty much caters to that group. Everything is centered around that group. Like, even you can see like a rapper YG a few years ago, he made a song. I can't think of the song. But it was pretty much centered towards the Mexican community. Why? Because a lot of black folks here, from the black population, is very small here. The black population, they're like in Inglewood, Culver City, Compton, where else? Paramount, places like this. That's where mainly the black in South Central LA. That's where mainly the black people are at. And they're very small in number because a lot of us have been forced to move out, or a lot of us wanted to move out for that reason because we wanted to see more black people. So we moved either for the cost of living to Texas, or we moved back down to Atlanta to the South because we wanted to be amongst more of our people because that is lacking here. But the black people that are still here, they kind of assimilate to the Mexican culture. That YG song, I think it goes Chump Chump or something like that. I don't remember. But it's basically showing you how the assimilation is more towards that way than towards the black culture, because it's pretty much gone here. It's very small. So if you're looking for diversity, you're not going to find it here per se. you're gonna come here to Southern Cali, LA, in my experience, and you're gonna be like, if you've never been to Mexico, you in Mexico. Or, but this is the crazy thing about it, right? Because I've been to Mexico. I've been in Mexico. I ain't been just to the border. Because if you go to the border like TJ, you might as well just say you're still in California. You gotta go 4 or 5 hours in there. You gotta go deep in there. And that's a whole different culture in Mexico. It's like it's real Mexican culture when you go further in. The cultures on the border are influenced by the states. You know what I'm saying? So if you want that authentic, if you want an authentic feel of Mexico, you gotta go up in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go to the border, go up in there. You're gonna get that real authentic. But that real authentic Mexico is like you go there looking for the big burritos that you used to eat at the burrito trucks here, they ain't gonna think I'm like, what you talking about? They don't know what the burrito is. Unless they watch, TV or they got family members that's travel here. You gonna say, hey, make me a burrito. They probably gonna bring out a tortilla, some rice, and some beans. They gonna be like, what's this? So where was I going with this, y'all? Um, yeah, the demographics. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And you got Hollywood and the Hollywood Hills, and where all the actors and people in entertainment stay. Beverly Hills. I took some notes. Beverly Hills. That's where all the wealth is. Melrose, not Melrose, but Bel Air. That's very wealthy. These are the wealthy areas. They don't want y'all asses in. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you over there. Um, and the culture, yeah. So talking about the culture, like I said, because the population is over 50% Hispanic. The culture is this. Let me break it down for you. At the hip hop stations, like I think Power 106 and the other one 92.3, there is, they play hip hop music, rap, but all the DJs, all the staff are Mexican. So they have adopted black culture in that area, right? Because they. But the thing about it, right? Because sometimes I listen to radio. They'll be talking about when they get to their talking portions, like the talking segments, and the DJs are talking or the hosts are talking. They still using Spanish slang when they talk. They still using like certain Spanish words when they talk. But it's crazy because I'm thinking, okay, this is a hip hop station that caters to well, hip hop music comes from black people, comes from black Americans. Black hip hop rap music is black American culture. So when you think about who's going to be listening to this music, you would think that it's going to be black Americans, some other groups, Asian, because we all know it's already been revealed back in the '80s when the gangster rap era, who was the people that was buying the gangster rap music was white suburban kids. You know what I'm saying? So those were the major consumers. But yes, those other groups do listen to the music. But it's like when they're talking, when the host is talking, it's like they're just talking to themselves. It's like they're just talking to their audience, which is the Mexican audience. So that's a strange thing, And they got like just one black DJ. We all know who that is. That's Big Boy. That's like the last, or like he's the only one, I think. Um, but yeah, man. Overall, man. Oh, let me talk about this, man. Let me talk about this. I didn't want to leave this out. The drivers, man. The drivers of LA are some of the craziest, erratic. They said Florida got it. I think LA got it because they are It's like crazy, man. Like if you going in a slow lane, if you going 55, 60 in the slow lane, they'll try to push your ass out of the slow lane. Like, why are you going so slow? They cutting you off. Some of them trying to run you off the road. They all speeding. It's like they just got a damn metal foot or a stone foot. And they just put in the accelerator and just keep going. Nobody know how to stop or slow down. They cutting in front of you. They all on the freeway track. It is utter chaos. When I tell you the driving out here is utter chaos. And I had to ask ChatGPT. I said, ChatGPT, what is the cause of this crazy driving in LA? And ChatGPT said one of the reasons because the large population, I think it's over like 5 million people, 6 million people, I don't know, just here in LA alone. And so it's millions of people's on the road. And like I said, because it's so spread out, everybody has to drive. It's not like, where I'm from, the Bay Area, you can get around, from Oakland in particular to Frisco. You could take public transportation, the BART, the bus, get you where you need to go. I know, like in New York, nobody drive. You don't need to drive in New York because the subway goes everywhere. But here, it's just because it's so big and everything is so spread out that you got to drive everywhere. So you got millions of cars on the road, and so that's the reason. And then also, the ChatGPT said that the countries that they come from can also be a cause. So if you've been to Central America, Mexico, whatever, they drive crazy out there. So they bring the same crazy driving from their country out here, and you got millions of them. So they just drive crazy. You travel, you get a chance to travel. A lot of the traffic laws that we have here, they don't have there. Pedestrian has a right of way, you can forget about it. You think about stepping out in front of a car in one of those countries, and they'll run your ass over. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. You got the ghetto birds all the time. That's another thing. You're gonna hear ghetto birds all day and night, going to another crime scene or whatever they're going to. But yeah, they don't have traffic laws in their country, so they'll just run you over. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of them just immigrated here. And I don't really know how they passing their tests at the DMV. I think they just handed out license, like you can get a license out of cereal box. They just handing them out. Here, you go your license. Go ahead, start driving. Yeah, they're getting licensed, they're getting cars, and they get to driving, and they drive crazy. Just like in their country, don't need to learn English. It's no reason for them to learn English because they have a large community. So literally, they can be here for 50, 40, 60 years and never learn English because they don't have to, right? So they can't read the traffic signs. Yeah, it's crazy. Driving, be prepared, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to come out here driving, it's a headache. It is a bad headache trying to drive out here in LA County. But yeah, LA County, man, it's, after being here for a year, and you got to know, like, also, too, LA is just one small part, right? The city of LA is like just one small part, usually downtown LA. It's in LA County is a bunch of different cities. And that's how LA County is just a bunch of different cities. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what encompasses LA County and LA. And literally the cities are like all like this. Like you can just drive 1 mile, you're in a different city. You drive another mile west, you're in a different city. You drive another mile east, you're in a different city. You drive another mile north, you're in a different city. So That's pretty much how it works out. Chill. So with that being said, overall, do I enjoy my time here in LA? And I made another video. You guys go check it out. YouTube, they put a stop on it, right? Because it was going viral. My video, if you look back, if you go into my video section, I did a video called Black Folks Are Done in LA. It was going up, LA, but YouTube, they hold politics and shit. The content creators, they want to be successful. They put that stop on it, right? But why? Because you look at that video, you're like, why the hell are you saying what you say in the video? Why you decide to come here? I came here because the situation forced us here, right? I was OTR, the job was getting to me, I had to make a move, right? So, I'm here kind of because, I'm kind of like stuck in limbo. That's why I'm here. If I had, and that's why I want y'all to support me, I want y'all to like, share, and subscribe. I want y'all to donate, help brother out in his family. You know what I'm saying? Help me blow up, help me trigger the algorithm so I can blow up. You dig? But yeah, if I had $50,000 right now put in my account, that's all I need. I'd be gone. I think I would be gone. Yes, a lot of people, I meet New Yorkers. I met a few New Yorkers that all left New York and came to Southern Cal because of the weather, because they don't like the 4 seasons. But I think there's other places I would want to live in United States. You did that more conducive for me and what I want. What I want for myself, what I want for my family. So for me, I might move like with 50,000 to 60,000. I might move back down south because I was in Atlanta. The only reason why I left, one of the main reasons why I had to leave, because of economic reasons. But I might move somewhere down there, or shit, I might go to New York. But because it's more, I'm more of a person that I like diversity. You know what I'm saying? I like more diversity. You know what I mean? Like, and doesn't really offer that a lot here in LA. Yes, you got different restaurants where you can go eat different types of food, but like in New York, right? Say New York City, you have so many different cultures, right? So you want to feel Italian, go to the Italian section. You want to feel German or whatever, you want to feel Caribbean, go to the Caribbean section. You want to feel like somewhere in Africa, or you can go there, right? New York office. You want to be around us, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. You can go and be in that section. Go to Harlem. You did. Go to certain Brooklyn. So New York is what I consider diversity, because you can experience. You want to experience South American culture or Spanish culture. You can go over there in New York. But here in LA, it's just one dominant culture, and that's just the reality of it. So it's really no diversity. It's really no diversity. In my humble opinion, I'm just keeping it 100 for y'all that may see this. So with that being said, this is your brother, J International, tapping back in once again. Make sure you like, share, subscribe.